My name is Kay Byfield, and this is your ArtSpeaks Studio moment from ArtSpeaks Studio in Dallas, Texas. We offer online classes and in-studio classes, mostly in watercolor. And every week we talk about something having to do with making art. Today I'm going to talk about art as communication. And the fact that if an artist takes that perspective and looks at what they're doing as they make a painting or other artwork, they will improve the kinds of work that they create. The first question I ask students when they are thinking about creating a painting is, what are you trying to say? If we're looking at a reference photo together, or if we're out on location and they're picking a viewpoint to paint from, I ask, what do you want your audience to know about this? What are you trying to communicate about it? And what I'm really saying is that art is just like any other communication. You have a creator or a sender. You have a medium, or in this case, an artwork that carries the message. And then you have a viewer who is going to receive the communication and interpret it in their own way. So we can look at art using the standard communication model. So when I talk about art as a communication, the creator is the sender of the message. The artwork is the medium for the message, and the viewer is the recipient. And the factors that make a big difference in what the artist creates is that artist's experience, their skill, their intention, what are they trying to say, the culture from which they come, and their personality or temperament. As in terms of the artwork, the context, where do we see it? Did we see it in a museum? Is it at an arts and crafts fair? Is it hanging in a restaurant? Where is it? That will impact how we understand and appreciate the artwork. It also matters what medium we use, what techniques we're using within that medium. What the design, the form is of it. Is it a lot of line? Is it more about shape and color? What kinds of textures are there? Those kinds of things matter. And then what is the content? What is the artwork intended to say? But the last aspect of whether an artwork is about to be appreciated or not is the viewer. And the viewer's experience, their interest in the artwork itself, their understanding of the artwork, the culture from which they come, and their personality also make a difference in whether the artwork will be understood and appreciated. For instance, this painting is a non-objective abstraction. It has no reference to external nature, as far as I know. And in the United States, because we do not teach people about art and the elements and principles of design or even the color wheel to any great extent, most people are pretty ignorant about how design works. The subject of this is only about the pleasure of these shapes, these colors, these textures, these lines, and the way they're put together. It isn't intended to reference anything else in the external world. So not everybody in this country is going to appreciate this. And in fact, a large percentage of people won't appreciate it. However, this painting was hung in the highly competitive National Watercolor Society International Competition in 2018. So someone did appreciate it. Because of the overall lack of art education in the United States, the person on the street is most likely to respond favorably to highly naturalistic, even supernaturalistic, meaning looking like a photograph, paintings, because they understand the skill involved in recreating how things look three-dimensionally on a two-dimensional surface. There is skill in that, but a viewer with less art education doesn't understand that there's skills in other kinds of presentations as well. The person on the street is more likely to see that as being good than to see something like that non-objective abstraction as having quality, or even something that is more expressive that is not a recreation of the way things look in a photograph. Most people are more likely to accept less naturalistic works if they don't look foreign to things they've already seen before. So for instance, while the Impressionists were really not very accepted back at the time that they were painting, today everyone is very familiar with Impressionistic works, and even though they are abstractions, they still can see what is being referenced, and they understand that the style is good. The result of all this is that only a certain subset of all the people who could see a painting are going to really appreciate it or understand it or see it as having quality. So the key for the artist is to recognize not everybody's going to like it, and to paint for yourself, but realize that if your work is in the right place, there will be other people that share your sensitivities. As you create your painting, to make it more likely that it will be successful, you need to be very clear about what you're painting and why you're painting it. You need to understand what emotional associations you have with the subject matter. You need to understand how to use the composition and design in such a way that it associates what you're trying to say. You need to pick a technique that's in keeping with what you're trying to accomplish. You need to be very clear about the meaning, of course. You need to know what the mood you're trying to establish is, and you need to pick a medium that supports all of those other aspects of the artwork. Medium is an important consideration. Not every viewer is receptive to every artistic material. For instance, many artists who paint in watercolor only show their works with other watercolors because people who don't know anything about that medium are less likely to respond to it. Having not seen the range of subject matter and techniques that are possible, that audience doesn't really understand or appreciate what they're seeing. You need to choose a medium that you want to use, but then you support the intent of your work using it. The crux of all this is that in order to do good work, the artist needs to understand themselves, they need to understand who their potential audience is, and they need to understand composition, design, and technique in regard to the medium that they're choosing. If you do that, you can make artwork that will resonate with you as well as your audience. I hope this little video about art as a communication, with the artist as the sender, the artwork as the medium, and the viewer as the audience, will help you as you create your own artworks, as it has me. I look forward to seeing you again in future videos, and in the meantime, happy painting. Bye.